Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Liverpool's iconic Liver building and to the Liverpool School of Tropical Medicine's very first graduation ceremonies. On the 14th of November, 120 years ago, Sir Alfred Lewis-Jones made the founding donation to establish LSTM as the world's first institution dedicated to the study of tropical diseases. And it's rumoured his statue is outside the front, so it's very poetic that we're having our first ceremonies here. Since then, LSTM has established itself as a global leader, developing pioneering research and training generations of global health leaders who are making a difference all over the world. Today marks an exciting new chapter for LSTM as we confer our own degrees for the very first time, and we're delighted that you can join us for this historic occasion. But first, we have a few announcements to ensure the ceremony runs smoothly. Please ensure your phones are switched off or on airplane mode. We are live streaming today's ceremony, and so if they're on silent or on vibrate, they may interfere with the sound quality. So please do turn them off or set them on the right mode. You're welcome to take photos during the ceremony, but please be aware that there are guests seated in front of you, so do not stand or obscure their view. There will be official photos that we will make available to everybody attending. Sound travels in this room, so please do be quiet during the ceremonies. You'll be asked to stand for the entrance of the academic procession. Once the stage party are seated on stage, please take your seats. At the close of the ceremony, please wait for the academic procession and all graduates to leave the room before following them out into the drinks reception. And refreshments will be available for the hour after the ceremony. And finally, we are not expecting any fire drills today. So if the alarm goes off, please follow my colleagues in the red robes out and downstairs into the car park, spaces 1 to 10 at our assembly point. So congratulations to all of our graduands, and we hope you all have a fantastic day.
Graduands, families, friends, honoured guests, welcome to the first graduation ceremony from the Liverpool School of Tropical Medicine. As you've already heard, we've just celebrated our 120th birthday, but almost as an accident of history, all of the degrees that we've given over the last 120 years have been done through the University of Liverpool. We are delighted that this is the first batch of graduates who will be graduating with the Liverpool School of Tropical Medicine degree, and want you to go out of here as ambassadors for the school, as I'm sure you will. We all know Liverpool's a party town. We play hard, we work hard. We've started off the graduation ceremony in exactly that format with the drumming band, which clearly all of you appreciated. But it was really to get that idea of energy coming through from you as graduates going forward from here. There has never been a better time to start working in public health, tropical medicine, the broader areas that you've been training in here. A number of you will be going back to jobs that you already hold. You've got extra training on from the baseline that you've been working in. Others of you will be looking for your first job in this area. And I remember back to my own time, many years ago now, but with that excitement of what was life going to hold. And I think my message to you all is don't wait for things to come knocking on your door. You now are equipped with the skills and ability to go forward from here. Feel free to knock on doors. You now have the basic training to be able to take you forward. You're also part of the broader Liverpool School of Tropical Medicine family. So we do say for everybody who comes here, no matter how long you've spent with us, you will always be a graduate of the school. You will always be welcome in the school. I'm sure you've got to know many of the staff and got to know them very well over the time that you've been here, so please do keep in contact. Make sure that you feel that this is your base, and as your careers go forward, that you can actually come back and work with us. But I'm also sure that many of you will have made friends here that will stay with you for life. You will be amazed where many of you will end up in your careers from here. None of you will really have got those mapped out in the way that they will turn out, but keep in contact with each other as well, because your contemporaries as you go forward are going to be a huge resource for you in your careers on from here. I hope also from the family's perspective, you're really proud of what's gone on here, of the graduation ceremony, where you'll have the photographs that you can take forward from here, but also of your children, your grandchildren, who are coming out of here and going to make a difference to the world as they go forward. So the school's mission is really to improve health in the tropics and to help the bottom billion of the population by really improving health, and improving health, improve the economics, and improve the general livelihood of all of those who live and work in the tropics. Some of you will also be working in the UK as well, because clearly many of the issues that face health systems overseas also face health systems within the UK. So as part of that broader network, they're going to make an enormous difference to the world going forward. Do it with pride, but do it with humility as well, because you can make an enormous difference as you go forward. And as an example of that, the first of our 2 honorary graduates this year, we've set up really of exemplars of what you can achieve as you go forward. And I'm hoping that they will give you not only an example, but enthuse you to go forward in your future careers from here. So all that remains for me to do is to pass over now to Alistair Craig, who will introduce the first of our honorary graduates, Alistair.
Thank you, Janet. It says here it's a pleasure for me to be able to stand in front of you. Well, those who know me will know that this is about as far out of my comfort zone as it gets before I run to the panic room. But actually, it would have to be a very special occasion that would really encourage me to come and do this, and I think we have that incredibly special occasion. It is an absolute delight to be able to honour one of our most prestigious alumni, Dr. Letitia Obeng. Today's occasion is really just one of many, I think, that she's been through in national and international stages, a whole list of honours bestowed upon her, and the title, I hope she doesn't mind it, of the grandmother of female scientists in Ghana. I think Janet talked about her shining example, and I think that she is in fact that. The honours that she's had, and I can't believe twice, the Order of the Star of Ghana, so that sounds pretty good, and her unanimous appointment as the first female president of the Ghana Academy of Arts and Sciences. These are amazing acts of recognition and representative of a life of excellence, determination, dedication, and sometimes against the odds. Listening to some of the stories from Letitia recounting her long career, you get an overriding sense of the many challenges that she has met and overcome, and she's clearly a very determined person. In fact, she said in an interview with Ghana Web in 2015 that as a young girl, I never allowed anything to be a stumbling block. It's not a bad thing to do. You'll also be struck by how humble and down-to-earth she is, and I'll probably come back to this in a second. And maybe that's something to do with the fact that her fascination with freshwater ecosystems and ecology. Maybe ecologists are always down to earth. And maybe it's the countless hours spent out on hillsides and in terrible environments trying to make a difference in this world. The inspiration for Letitia's career, she says, came from her cherished childhood in visiting her father's farm in rural Ghana, and being really enthused and mesmerized by the nature that she saw around her. I don't know how the transition from there came to the point, but this certainly evolved into her undertaking a degree in zoology and botany in Birmingham University in 1952. And as soon as she came back from that, she became the first Ghanaian woman to graduate with a bachelor's degree in science. She returned as the first female scientist in zoology, and immediately had employment in the University College of Science and Technology in Kumasi, which had just started up. And heading the zoology department with an empty laboratory, she recalls, all I had was a mouldy old microscope, 2 beakers, and a long bench. I was going to make some sort of crack about the facilities here, but I think we do slightly better than that in Liverpool. With these sorts of achievements, though, there become many personal challenges, and not the least the death of her husband in 1959, leaving her to raise 3 small children. We hope the watershed in her professional life came in 1962 when Letitia was invited to undertake a PhD in the Liverpool School of Tropical Medicine, and she sailed with her 3 children from Ghana to Liverpool, where her focus was to be on the black fly, which she says coincidentally was the same infuriating fly which made a whining sound and was always trying to bite me at her father's farm. The fly, which breeds in fast-flowing fresh water, someone wrote that just to trip me up, carries the onchocerciasis parasite, which I'm sure all of you know is the cause of river blindness in large parts of West Africa. So for the following 3 years, on each Saturday, she would take her children into the wilds of North Wales, and they would roam the countryside there. It says here, come rain or shine, but this is North Wales, so it was rain. And I have to say, one of the really drivers for doing this was when we reconnected with our alumni the other year, she sent a picture, and you just couldn't not fall in love with her, because the picture she sent was her with her 3 children in Wales, and her 3 children were, I think the word is manhandling her over a wall. And so it wasn't just the bravery of sending that picture and the humility and the humbleness that comes from that, but the clear love within the family of how they could have that relationship. Those years of intensive study at LSTM introduced Letitia to, as she called it, the fascinating and totally amazing world of freshwater. And it was a period when her lifelong passion for freshwater ecology emerged. By the time she and her family returned home, Ghana's hydroelectric project had been launched and the River Volta had been dammed, and the lake that was going to form would eventually cover 4% of the country. And given her expertise in freshwater studies, Letitia was very conscious of the potential ecological disturbances and the environmental problems that might come from this major program. And driven by that care and to a certain extent some desperation, and after a huge amount of personal petitioning, approval was finally given for the creation of an Institute of Aquatic Biology, which of course Letitia was at the helm, and it would monitor, study and manage the country's inland water systems, including Lake Volta, for the good of the people and the wildlife. What was I going to say? I got back to there. So Letitia stayed at that institute for 10 years and directed probably one of the first multidisciplinary research areas on Lake Volta, producing many studies and publications on invertebrates and aquatic weeds. Through this, her reputation grew globally and led to an invitation for her to take part in 1972 to the United Nations Human Environmental Conference in Stockholm. And then 11 years with the United Nations Environment Programme in her role as director of that programme's regional office for Africa, where she worked with over 50 environmental officers in the region. Having not let any of the stumbling blocks affect her during her career, many rewards followed, and we could have had a really long list, but I kind of thought that when they put your face on a stamp, you probably have arrived, and which Ghana did in 2007. It's just waiting for it on the money now, and then we'll be going well. Letitia's passion for freshwater ecology is undiminished, and as I said at the beginning, her accolades are numerous and well-deserved. At the Liverpool School, we're proud to have been part of her scientific success and the positive impact that it's had on freshwater ecosystems in Africa and in general, and in Ghana in particular. So now, Letitia, we would like to honour you with what we hope will be your most cherished award, the first ever honorary degree ever awarded by Liverpool School of Tropical Medicine. And we hope that it will close the circle that started not very far away up here so many decades ago when you set foot on Liverpool's waterfront. We're very proud to be able to name such a dedicated, influential and committed advocate amongst our graduates. President, Chair of the Board, Director, students, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Dr. Letitia Obeng as eminently worthy of the honorary degree of Doctor of Science.
Thank you very much. Please be seated. And welcome to Letitia's family as well, who've joined her and come back to Liverpool after all those years too. We're delighted to see you here as well. So we now come to the conferment of LSTM's awards, and Phil Padfield, the Dean of Education, will present the candidates to LSTM's President, Sir Richard Evans, CBE.
Thank you, Janet. I'm going to apologise before I start. I'm dead with a cold, so you might hear me sniffing a little bit. I'm going to take a few sips of water the way through. But it gives me great pleasure, Mr. President, to present to you the following recipients for the LSTM diplomas. Students, will you please come forward to accept your diplomas? Professional Diploma in Humanitarian Assistance, Jake Dyehouse. Professional Diploma in Tropical Medicine and Hygiene, Helen Coupit. Arn Du Thin. Francesca Hurd. Naomi Mearden. Elizabeth Shiner. Sam Sutton. Peter Tammany. And Laura Yell. So, Mr. President, I present to you the following candidates who have been certified by the Board of Examiners as worthy to receive the degree of Master of Science. Students, please come forward to accept your degrees. Master of Science in Humanitarian Studies, Ian Bugg. Natalie Hendry. Manav Vikrant Singh. Molly Spence. The following candidate was the recipient of the MSc Humanitarian Studies Prize for the Best Performance in this programme, Abby Meadows. So we now move on to the Master of Science in International Public Health. Tice Caprioli. Deandra Daly. Malik Dansoko. Flora Dimba. Ashiti Bike Idibolo. Claire Jobanputra. Irene Bent Jorgensen. Josephine Karoma. Francesca Krupra. Effie Mamuzo. Elizabeth Papula. Sarah Sichel. Karis Fasek. And Faisal Yusuf. The following candidate was a recipient of the David Smith Memorial Prize. This prize is open to all MSc programs and is awarded to a student from a developing country who has contributed most to the teamwork of other students in the program. Ituan Emuzen. So now we move on to the Master of Science, International Public Health, Humanitarian Assistance. Mikiko Eire. William Thompson. Alistair Wood. Master of Science in International Public Health Planning and Management, Emebo Adebayo. Hannah McReynolds. Nicole Moen. The following candidate was a recipient of the Debbie Quinney Prize for the best performance in the International Public Health Planning and Management Programme, Jacqueline Adembo. Master of Science in International Public Health, Lisa Harrison. And Shanice Richardson. Mr. President, I present to you the following candidates whom have been certified by the Board of Examiners as worthy to receive the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Students, please come forward. So, Doctor of Philosophy in Global Health, Nicole Young. Doctor of Philosophy in Tropical Medicine, Menno Smit. And finally, Mr. President, I make application to you to confer the degrees listed on those candidates who have not been presented in person, but whose names appear in the programme and have indicated that they wish their degrees to be conferred in their absence. I certify that they are worthy to receive those degrees, and I stand as proxy for them. Congratulations to all today's graduates. I will now hand over to the LSTM President, Sir Richard Evans, CBE, to formally admit the candidates to their degrees.
By virtue of the authority invested in me, I admit to their degrees those presented in person today, and those for whom you stand as proxy. I'd like to add my congratulations to those who have graduated today. I now have pleasure in handing over and welcoming the LSTM Chairman, Mr. James Ross, who will address you for the closing part of the ceremony. Thank you very much indeed.
President, Director, graduates, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, congratulations to all of you graduates on becoming masters, if not of the universe of science, doctors of philosophy, or graduating from a prestigious professional diploma course. And don't forget that the certificate which a Nobel laureate receives is also called a diploma. So you're on your way. You've got where you are today by dint of hard work and very often a considerable degree of sacrifice by both yourselves and your families. And I'm reminded here of the quip that the first important decision you make in a successful life is to choose good parents. You, your families, and your friends should feel justifiably very proud of where you are today. Congratulations on being part of the very first graduation ceremony of this great institution, which, as you heard, is now 120 years old. You may feel yourself somewhat old today after completing your courses, but you've got the world at your feet. you have a lot in common with those for whom the first syllabuses were compiled in 1899. They specified courses for missionaries, for planters, and others who expect to live in the tropics at a distance from medical men. And talking of medical men, the early syllabuses, while establishing charitable and humanitarian principles, also stated in very small print that courses were open to fully qualified female doctors. Perhaps they were ahead of their time. Our impact on the tropics must be in the tropics. So said Brian McGrath, who was Liverpool School of Tropical Medicine's longest-serving dean from 1946 to 1975. This was an emphasis that was true to LSTM's founding principles of working in partnership, focusing on local needs, training health workers and setting up strategies and projects that were appropriate to conditions in the field. Now you're standing on the shoulders of giants. The name of Ronald Ross is, I'm sure, familiar to you. He was the first British person to be awarded the Nobel Prize for Physiology or Medicine in 1902 for his work on the transmission of malaria. And he was Dean of the Liverpool School of Tropical Medicine between 1902 and 1913. But there are giants nearer at hand. In this room are two giants on whose shoulders you'll be standing, namely the first two recipients of honorary degrees from LSTM, Letitia Obeng and Victor Mpasa. They have a number of traits in common: determination, stamina, humility, a blend of inquisitiveness and originality essential in a researcher, a willingness to make personal sacrifices to achieve real impact on the communities with whom they choose to serve. So, stand on their shoulders, take your research and teaching and practice a stage further, and become yourselves the giants of the future, so that succeeding generations can learn from your example and in turn stand on your shoulders. The future is yours to shape. You have a priceless qualification conferred on you today. You are accumulating experience by the day, and you've chosen a field of endeavor with enormous scope and potential. The inexorable march of demographics means that by 2050, sounds a long way away, but it's only just over 30 years, some 60% of the whole world's children will be living in the tropics. As Ronald Ross said some 120 years ago, the future prosperity of the tropics depends on their health security, or to put it another way, the well-being of well over half the world's population is dependent on breaking the cycle of poor health and poverty. So again, congratulations, climb on the shoulders of your predecessors, go and make your mark on the future of this planet, and never forget your time with the Liverpool School of Tropical Medicine. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I now declare this graduation ceremony officially closed. Would you now please stand for the academic procession? Thank you.